Oh, hey, it's me, JuiceticeTV, your best friend on the internet. We're back. Hi, Tweeter. Okay. Okay. Hi. How's my day? Good. How's your day? I went to the sporting goods store to buy some cleats. I went to Target and bought all the groceries. And then I started working. Hey, we're about to start a community seed. So what this means is we're going to find a map that looks pretty good for beginners to play. And then I will give you the seed code, and then you can load it up on your own machine and you can play along with me live or later on. And there will be a channel in Discord labeled Oxygen Not Included, whether Misha made it or I will make it. And then you can, if you have questions, ask me or see what I do, see what other people do. People can answer and ask questions among themselves. And this is how a good way to learn, you know? Well, I might be learning with you a little bit more, having to go back to not having spaced out. I don't really remember the specific differences, but early bird, night owl. Can we get all three? Digging and suit wearing. Attribute bonuses while stressed. Oh, I don't like allergies. Okay. This is fine. Well, this one's a little bit harder to navigate right at the start, but that's okay. This is why I have mod set up so I can pick your starter dupes. Yeah, you could. Just for sure. It's a good mod probably. I don't mind usually. I'm only sensitive to trying to get it done because you know, for stream. Oh, this space is very wide. Okay, well, seems fine to me. So here we go, one more time. Hopefully the last time. Okie dokie. Wow, super wide base. But not very tall. That's fine. It's so wide. I mean, who cares? So I am going to figure out 64 like this. Oh, but it has to be down here, obviously. So okay. And we do the same thing on this side, but oh wait, is this the side that I want the bathrooms to be on? There's no slime over there. It may not be much of a difference either way. Got some iron and coal right here, eh? In this case, the slime is above us, which is interesting. And it looks like we have accidentally poked a hole here. It looks like there's some slime down here. We'll just verify that this is a slime biome. Uh-oh. What are you doing, bud? Besides being real cold. Well, don't do what I did and ignore the fact that there's some sand holding this water pocket up. Not ideal. Just trying to get a better picture of what's down here. So Zodi, you're moving again? Where are you headed to this time? Every time I talk to you, you're moving, I think. gotta be exhausting. Ah, San Diego's nice though. Cost of living is high, but the weather sure is nice. And San Diego just always smells like weed. Just TwitchCon. You walk around, and it just smells like weed. All of downtown smells like weed. All right, we have slime down here. Confirmed. So we'll stick with our 64s on this side, and we'll do our bedrooms on this side. San Diego, which of course means in the German, a whale's vagina. Pretty sure that's science, Chev. Okay. Good. So I think we're gonna be able to do like 5Zs on our bedrooms. So I'm gonna go and go like this. Okay. And then we'll go from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, stamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, stamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, stamp. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, stamp. Okay. So there's our bedroom blueprint. And that leaves all of this for an extremely wide middle section. But again, it's not super high. It's not very tall. So we're going to be putting a lot more into, I mean, heck, we might even, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This is an interesting one for me. Should be fun. Can confirm. You heard it here first. Chev can confirm. It's like me, not super high, but really wide. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Okie dokie. So we gotta go get our oat hooses in here, buds. And our wash basins. And remember, your wash basins are always closest to the door, because you want them to use it after they use the bathroom. We're just gonna go ahead and get this water down here. And we got to get our names up. Okay. So, here is, Gooey. Here is Tweeter. Here is Astral Fire. All right. And we will do our directions so that they wash their hands on the way out of the bathroom. You are a dupe. You may or may not die. And if so, you're not allowed to say, Juice, you killed me. I didn't kill you. I don't want you to die. What happens is everybody, Squeezy, Misha, signs up to be a duplicate, And then when they die, they're like, oh, Juice, you killed me again. As if I somehow meant for that duplicate to perish, when clearly the truth is they were just dumb and they made mistakes, and it's not my fault. It's okay, Juice, I forgive you. No, you're not dead, Astro. All right, we have our first printing. Ooh, a pink unitard. Well, I gotta say yes to that, obviously. Gooey Bear is gonna look fan-frickin-tastic in this pink unitard. Whoa, boy. Oh my god, can you stop? I want to get a little good look at it. Come on, bud. Glorious, majestic. He's got leg warmers. Oh my god. Gooey, you're the best. Fabulous. Okay. You probably don't want to pick a duplicate with your first printing pod, because right now we don't have any food generation, and we're not gonna have any food generation until we start doing some research. Okay, so that's really the first thing we got to do. We got to do the research, and you got to start your Stream Raider battle in that order. No, first battle, then research. Okay, now this is not the best, but it's fine. We're just gonna do manual generator. Okay, we chuck down a couple batteries like that, and we go to stations, hit that research station, and then we go back to power, grab the wire, and that's what we're gonna do there. And then you'll notice Astrofire and Tweeter decided that they would like to sleep in the bathroom. It's not my choice, my first choice, I guess, but you know, it's fine if that's where you feel comfy, you know. I guess you're close for the morning. I was hot. It was floor bathroom's cold. Yeah, it's fine. Are you tub shaming? No. Hey, it's Z! Z, we're starting a community seed. For oxygen not included. Okay. The floor is cool. You're cool. Your face is cool, Astrofire David. Fight me. You're neat, Z. Okay. Get in here. You're for whatever reason, your ration box isn't set to all usually when you start. So you're gonna want to make sure you go in there and check that button. We also like to make sure that your toilets get cleaned. Otherwise, you're gonna have poop going everywhere. So I usually just set them to 9. It probably doesn't need to be, but that's what I do. And it usually tends to work. Occasionally, things will get a little wonky if you mess with your priorities too much. But for now, we're okay. The other thing we probably want to do is throw down an oxygen diffuser. I'm not going to hook it up yet because we have oxalite still, at least here. And there's nice amount of blue here, so I don't need to hook up an oxygen generator right away. Because of the width of this base, we're probably going to have 2 running pretty quick, which is unfortunate, but c'est la vie, as they say in France. It's like Juice feels weird if the toilet doesn't work. Yeah, like if someone who was maybe a little oversensitive destroyed the toilet and then it stopped working, that might be a bit of a problem when you have, 16, 20 people hanging out at your house or whatever. Hypothetically, of course. hypothetically, hey friends, let's get this built because we got to start our research. It's already cycle 4 and we haven't even started our research. Unacceptable. Good eye, Kendall Southwick. Gooey. Tweeter's gonna keep waking you up, but you keep sleeping right next to Tweeter. This is no one's fault but yours. I just want to point this out. Hey, look at this. All right, first research we do. Basic farming and meal prep. If you check meal prep, it'll do both. And the reason is because we want the farm tile so that we can get going. We also want to make sure that we're actually generating power into batteries so that you're not just running on a circle for no reason. There it is. Okie dokie. We are going to do a thing that I like to call digging. And we are going to prioritize building the sandstone above where we dig for reasons that I will explain. We are going to put our farm tile on this row. And it could be higher, it could be lower. Your mealwood and your mushrooms can grow in carbon dioxide. And that's really the only reason why I put them towards the bottom of the base, because the carbon dioxide is going to sink and it's not going to impact your farms whatsoever. So it seems to me like that's a good place to put them. Now, above that, you will notice that I have a little 2-tile spot. And that, my friends, is where I put storage. Okay. It's nice, albeit not necessary, if you can make it so that the stuff that you're mining falls on that platform so that when you're picking it all up, it's right there. And that's why I do the tile first, because it's a little bit less mess, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, hey, Pop. Okay, we did our research. That was quick. Next up, we can probably hop down to advanced research so we can get our supercomputer out of the way. But really, you could do any of the basic research. It gets done pretty quickly, and you're probably not going to need any of the stuff right away. What you really needed was your farm tile. So we're going to chuck our farm tile down now, okay? We're going to prioritize it. Actually, let's prioritize this is a 7 and the digging is a 6. So that they don't get hung up on any of the other stuff that you may or may not be kind of blocking out. The reason I'm doing this is because I would ideally like all of this stuff as we dig it to fall down here so that we can just let it fall down onto the level where the storage bins are. And so if there are ladders, they will hop across as they dig or whatever, but everything will just keep falling down. Okay. Astral is doing the research, and we have our first duplicate skin skills popping. Okay, so if you've chosen the way that I've chosen as far as your characters, you're starting duplicates, and you have art and advanced research for one of your dupes. Oh man, listen, baby. If you've got a duplicate and you need to decide whether you do art fundamentals or advanced researching, let me tell you something. You could probably do it either way. But I like to get the art out of the way because we're not going to actually create any art until they have masterwork unlocked. And that's going to take a little bit of time. But what they don't need right away is advanced research. Because right now, baby, they're just doing the basics. Oh yeah. As far as our other duplicates, we knew that we wanted one to be our builder and one to be a miner. And so we're just going down there first. And as long as they have a heart near their name, it's not going to stress them out too much, you see. But if you were to fill all this up, well, then you'd have a problem. Your duplicate, the morale would be very, very low compared to the morale need, which would be very high.
Lord Athos wants to slow jam chat. Need more boogie beats on Work Stuff Wednesday.
Work Stuff Wednesday? Are you working right now? Lord Air Toes? And we're gonna plant some mealwood seeds. Set the priority high, level 9. Now, of course, right here, I've made the mistake, you could probably avoid it, of planting where there's some water. And so they may not grow if there's too much water on the surface of the thing, but we should take care of this pretty soon. We just want to get the planting started. The sooner you start planting, the sooner you start eating. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Kendall Southwick? G'day, Bendel. Barada. What do we got here? Ooh, it's a pipsqueak. Now, if you're Mad Baggins, you pick the pipsqueak. If you're me, we're gonna look closely at these duplicates to see if there's one that's worth getting now. We would look for a cook, or any duplicate that's just really strong. But what we don't have that's kind of a specialty thing is a cook. Cooking and doctoring, it's not my favorite, and the traits aren't that great, so I don't think we're gonna get Steve. Mima operates and wears suits, and that's pretty good, and has some buff, and that's nice. Pacifist, I don't mind whatsoever. Bert, we don't need a researcher, and we're not at ranching yet, and frankly, these values are pretty low, and his traits are moot. I kind of like Mima, so let's take Mima. They're fun to kill and eat. King Stupid, how dare you? I would never do that. They are too adorable. Pips are pets, not food. Now, this is a bit of a calculated risk because, of course, Mima is going to require more food than we probably are producing right now. But we have 25,000 kcal, and we do have some mealwood started. So, you know, it's fine. She was a strong duplicate. We can get her on operating, and then, you know, we kind of got some of our basics for early game priorities covered. Worst case scenario is you've got some little meat hatches right here in your little around your base. It's fine. And to Scan's point, everywhere you see a little cracked thing right there, that something is hiding behind that tile, and it could be food, and it could be death. No, it's not death, but it could be food. Sodi. I kill hatches, but not pips. Pips are adorable. They're annoying when they're near your storage bins, though. And they're hard to tame. All right. We're at the point where getting a little oxygen generated is probably a good idea. So let's go ahead and get this thing turned on. The dog is barking, bark, bark, and I don't know why. Hatches freak you out? Oh, that's too bad. That's a good way to make coal. Yo, let's get this mopped up. Storage bin. What do we do with our storage bin? Click all. And then unclick critter egg. Unless you really want all of the eggs to die. And then go to organic. If you have polluted dirt, rot, or slime, make sure that those are not checked. We will deal with those in a different way. Hold on a second, I gotta go check on this dog.
Random number consumer wants Juice's opinion. Squirrels.
I think squirrels are pretty okay. Whoa, what is this? Please prepare to enter.
Okay, that'd be great
Por
because I'm now
Español,
down to
Marque
45
do
HP.
9. I hit a rock. I'll be there in a second. There was a rock in the road.
Cool. Wow, Juice, you're like, I've got 30 health.
Get in the car, Meg. Nope, that's not getting in the car.
Okay, well,
There it is.
you need to go. I got 26 health.
I'm not hurting you, Zerx. It's not friendly fire's not on, I don't think. I hope it's not on. I am hurting him. What? All right. Well, that changes things, doesn't it? What happens if the glove doesn't fit, Rummy?
Then you must drink spit.
I think Juice is still holding on to something.
It's very retroactive
Juice.
I see what's happening now. Pucker has decided to mow the lawn, and the dog is terrified of the lawnmower and is losing its mind. So the dog might be yelling for a little bit. I apologize if you can hear him in the background. Hear her in the background.
918 wants a rad capuchin.
You want a rad capuchin? There you go, Z. So much love, hype, and pride. The whole stream's slowing down. Z is so bored that she's taken to looking at Streamloot's cards for any distraction. I respect it, actually. Z, I have hidden a special GIF within 340 and 350 bits. You'll never find it. I'm just kidding. I haven't done that. Don't do that. But I'm gonna, to see if it's something you just can't possibly resist. I'll sell out. I'm just not gonna copy everything Dunk does. Just some of the things.
Lordithos wants to name a character in the game.
You got it.
The next you.
Well, you can be Mima. Because that's too expensive. Listen at me. It should honestly be between like 25 and 35, and then maybe people will do it. I'm not Dunkstar level. He can squeeze $4 out of people per roll, but I don't know. I can get maybe 35 cents. Okay. We got some food going, huh, fam? I get you the C+ content. Yeah. Hey, man. Look, I know what's up. I have self-awareness. To the extent that any single person can understand that or believe that they have self-awareness, you know? Food is good. I am eating Albanese sugar-free gummy bears. Don't eat them all, or you might have tummy troubles. But they actually taste really good, and the consistency taste is pretty much the same as any other gummy bear. If I just handed you some of these, I don't think you'd be able to tell that they were sugar-free. They don't have a weird aftertaste like a lot of sugar-free candy. They're really good, aren't they, Nerdy? I like the sour ones too. They're not sour enough. Like, I wish they were more sour, like a Sour Patch Kid, but they're still pretty good. Okay. Yeah, don't eat 200 of them. That'd be bad. Oh, you know what I forgot? We have some schedule weirdness with our duplicants. So if you've never had to contend with this, it's not complicated, but you know, it's good to know. What you want to do is, if you have a night owl, they get, first off, you don't have to change anything if you don't want, but it's recommended because your night owl will get a bonuses at night and your early bird will get bonuses in the morning. So your default schedule is fine. They sleep as soon as the moon is out, and then they wake up. For your, let's say, early bird, we just kind of shift. I just kind of shift everything over by a couple, right? So 1, 2, 3, bath time, and then get to work. Now, it might be enough that they just start work right as the first sun spot, and that's fine too. I don't know. And then you just move Tweeter there, or whatever your duplicate is, and then we have kind of the same thing for Night Owl, where we are going to have them do their downtime starting when the sun rises, and then 1, 2, 3, and then bath time, and then the rest is work. Okay. sugar-free Werther's Originals taste the exact same as the regular ones. Really? All right. 5 for 5 sale on Welch's gummies. Welch's gummies are good, but they taste like fruit snacks to me more than like gummy bears. I think, if I'm thinking of the right product. Anyway, and again, that's not a bad thing, but yeah, I know, but see, I made this thing and then you aren't doing it, you ding dongs. Build the thing. Tweeter, why? Gooey is pooping. Look at Gooey pooping. And Tweeter, you're sleeping right near where Gooey's pooping. This is uncomfortable for both. Well, it's not uncomfortable for Tweeter apparently, but look at Gooey. Self-conscious, man. Oh, geez, bud. Misha, you didn't have to pick this one. You could have gone this to the... Oh, geez, Mish. Or sorry, I say Mish because this duplicate looks like Misha IRL, and I always name this one Misha, but in this case, it's Astrofire. My bad. We might need to make a change on that, actually, and just make Astrofire the next one. Because I'm just going to keep messing this up. There. Now this is Misha. All right. Misha... I'm telling you that these gummy bears, Emmy, they don't have that weird aftertaste, but they do have like the sugar alcohols in them or whatever makes you can upset your tummy if you eat too much of it. It may cause stomach discomfort and or a laxative effect. Individual tolerance will vary. It contains phenylalanine, which I'm sure is definitely not a carcinogen. That's what I just said, Emmy, only without being crude about it, for Pete's sake. All right, let's go up and do jumbo battery. Okay, the other thing we want to do before we get too far along is update our priorities. Now, we are not going to get super specific, but we want our attacking, life support, toggling, and doctoring to be very high. I put tidying to high, you don't need to. I turn cooking off, I turn decorating off, I turn researching off, except for the one researcher for whom it is high. Everything else, you just leave the way it is right now. We don't want to mess too much with it when you only have a handful of dupes. When we have 12 duplicates and our roles are a little bit more defined, our skills are a little bit more defined, then yeah, having GUI specifically focusing on digging first. But if I even raise this up a little bit, GUI will exclusively do digging until there is no digging left to do, and then we'll go to operating, and that's not necessarily exactly how we want the world to work.
That bishop girl just
Bishop
subscribed.
girl! Oh, was that like an oh, I forgot to unsubscribe. Oh. Oh. Need to remember to turn that off before next week. Ooh. Or next month. All right, we gotta... Like, I hate to waste our time here, but see the water? It's a problem. I meant to have a little more of this dug out before we pop the hole there, but here we are. Okay, I am not gonna... Oh, no. Supplying and operating. Caregiver, grease monkey. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. All right, we'll take it. All right, Astrofire's back. Here, because we messed with Astrofire, we're gonna give you a sweet outfit. And it's gonna be red because you like red because you're Astrofire. Or wait, this blue matches your hair. It's even better. You'll pop. You'll look amazing. Okay. Morrowind. Oh no, the water's killing all of our things, maybe? Stop it. No, that's our food. We need the food. We gotta have the food. Oh no, we made mistakes. Well, you get to learn through my mistakes, which is an amazing thing for a community seed. I drowned our farm. Make sure that your water pit is actually dug out before you go ahead and start dicking around and stuff. It's fine. Mouth breather? It's not the end of the world, man. And people overreact to that stuff. Or maybe it's just me and I don't take it as serious as I should.
You don't think they're
dicking around, do you?
around over there, do you?
They might be. All right, I like getting airflow tiles kind of early on. So that's what I'm going to go for next. We're also to the point where we are gonna need to start storing some polluted dirt. What's gonna happen when we clean the toilets here. Okay. So we're gonna make a bin, a storage bin. It's gonna be underwater. It has to be completely submerged in water. Okay. Diggy, diggy hole, diggy, diggy hole. All of our plants, they are dying in a hole. We have made mistakes. Maybe you shouldn't learn from me. Bishop Girl, thank you for resubscribing. Zodi, thank you for resubscribing. I really appreciate that. Our plants are dead. We have killed the plants. Then along came Gooey. Look at Misha. Let me look at this beaker. That thing's probably pretty hot and you're just like bare fisting it there. Maybe you have gloves on. My god, Gooey, that outfit is fabulous. Sinful potato. Why do you have so many late meetings?
party!
Hey, Death Row is back with Mrs. Dejected Lamp. How's it going? Look at your twerky eggplant. I approve. Can we get some craves in the chat? If anybody has it. We were playing Demonologist. I still haven't tried it. Oh my god, what is this, Gemma? Cheesy hearts. Goofling, we're working on the community seed. Don't make mistakes that I made, like drowning your crops. That's not the best thing to do. But we've solved for the problem now, sort of. It's spooky but so good. Very jump scary. Yeah, I gotta watch some more of it. We talked about it, and Death Row said that I would have fun with it, but I get so bored with Phasmo. I'm a little gun shy about Demonologist, and it's not really in the wheelhouse of the stream, but it is fun to play spoopy games sometimes. Like around Halloween, we tend to do more spoopy games in October. So it might be a while, but eventually we'll probably maybe try it out. But I really do appreciate the raid. Everybody please follow Death Row Gamer, who's been raiding us. You know, it's been like 3-4 times now, and I really appreciate that. We are doing a community seed. We just started, in Oxygen Not Included. If you would like to join us, who's very into Oni, nice. Well, we have the seed here. So if you want to play along at home, I'm going to be doing the first 50 to 75 cycles, depending on how long that takes. And then other people in the community are doing the same seed, and so it's a little apples to apples comparison. If they have questions, or you know, as they're trying to learn, they can kind of see how I've done it. Not saying that how I do it is the best way to do it, but I do okay. And then, you know, we have a channel in the Discord too, where people can post questions for other members of the community and stuff. So feel free to join in if you like. Morrowind is doing it. Look at how hype he is. Morrow likes science. I actually feel like I've done a poor job of starting this seed, so I don't feel like the best role model right now as far as this game is concerned. Yeah, make your things that Juice didn't do was finish making a water pit before accidentally poking holes in your water pockets. This one was actually a legitimate mistake because I just wasn't paying attention to the sand. This one, I had something like that going on, and just screwed the pooch a little bit, but it's fine. We'll bounce back. Okay. We are going to take our underwater. Remember I said we have to make an underwater storage bin? We're going to set that only for polluted dirt. You could also put slime in there if you accidentally popped some slime, and like food rot. And as long as it's underwater, it will not emit dirty oxygen, polluted oxygen. The water traps it. Okay. And now that we've gotten to the point where we're starting to clean the toilets a little bit, we want to make sure that that's available. Kisakin! How you doing? Doing good. Doing good. How are you? I mean, I did murder the farm just now, but other than that, I'm doing good. We've got 26,000 kcal. It's fine.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Tough, you're gonna play the community seed. It's up. Boink. Boink, 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 boink. Boink. Boink, boink. Oni makes your brain hurt. Yeah, that's why you play the community seed, so you can learn. And then your brain will hurt less. Maybe. All right, we're gonna get off these little batteries. We're gonna make a couple of jumbo batteries. Okay. They'll hold a charge longer. Ooh, snazzy suit. Let's have it. Air toes, you got a snazzy suit there, bud. Enjoy. It's the snazziest. It's not the almost snazzy or kind of snazzy. It is the snazzy suit. The most snazzy of all the suits. At least officially. I would say that Gooey's outfit is arguably snazzier, but also that has to do with rarity as much as anything else, you know? But Gooey looks great. Hold on. Look at this. Look at this outfit with the purple leg warmers. Ugh. Chef's kiss. What a mess. We're getting there though. It'll be cleaned up before you know it. Don't worry, Tough. Tough, stop. Tough, settle down. No one can rock a pink unitard like Gooey. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but you're still worried. I know, you gotta tone it down, bud. What y'all doing? Because it seems like you're just here. This might go a little bit faster if the storage was closer. Okay. I also prioritize this a 9, so it makes sense that they stopped everything to come do this. But getting all this junk off the ground will make it a lot easier to spot when there's polluted dirt that we want to collect. You know what I mean? The ice marker still on game. I don't know what you mean. The ice marker. Ice maker? As far as I know, it's still in the game, yeah. Why do you ask? Are you not able to find it? They did an update today, but I didn't read the patch notes. All right. While we do that, let's look at what we're gonna get next. I think decor is fine. Sinful potato. All right, and let's go to stations and get our supercomputer built as well. Get that hooked up. Are you not playing now, Kisakin? You keep showing up for these streams. I just assumed you were also playing him. I've never used the ice machine. I usually just grab ice from the cold biome. I realize not every asteroid has a cold biome, but we're just playing basic stuff here. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just hands off and let them work on the things that you have already assigned. It can be hard, but okay, we want to make sure that no polluted dirt is going into our existing storage bin. And to that effect, we're going to raise the priority on this one. And make sure it goes into the one that's underground. Now, if you have a refinement set up somewhere, that should also take care of the problem, but just in case, it's good to have a place for it that's not going to emit polluted oxygen. Granted, polluted oxygen is not the death sentence that it once was. Actually, it was never really a death sentence, but slime lung was, and now slime lung is actually pretty common and it doesn't really matter all that much. We have some duplicate skills, even though we don't have an indicator showing here. Astral operating, air toes operating. I got the slime lung, Pop. I don't know what. I'm not following Kisakin. Duplicates emit heat. Hey, we made it to the research. Okay, and let's start on our liquid nonsense. And we're well past due for working on these bedrooms, so let's start on that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it matters, but I guess it's possible. Misha, you're learning how to decorate. You are an artist, so I don't want to hear about that nonsense. It's a bop, dude. Aw, Gooey. Gooey, you dumb dummy. You done trapped yourself. Now Airthos is trapped with no oxygen. With no oxygen. There you go, bud. When you do stuff like this, you gotta kind of keep an eye out because they will find ways to murder themselves. Imagine having hypothermia. Okay. We're also gonna go ahead and get our airflow tiles in. Research is complete, so we will go to sanitation. And no one is a cook. None of these dupes are particularly intriguing, so we'll just grab a hatchling. Gooey Bear is ready to up his diggy game, and Tweeter is buildy. Yeah, they used to get stuck in blocks all the time. I don't really have that problem as much anymore, although we did have that happen earlier today on the other seed. Gooey, you don't seem happy. What's wrong? What's wrong, BB? You churning butter? Thank you, Airthos, for delivering that polluted dirt. More research is complete. Oh yeah, we can delete this. I didn't delete it before because I knew it was going to create polluted dirt, and I didn't want to do that before we had storage for it. Cool, you did the right thing. I'm proud of you. As a solid object? I suppose, yeah. You're very esoteric, Kisukin. Man, Misha, you're like researching too good. I need you to slow down. Oh my god, Tweeter is like sleeping inside water. But look, books. Yeah, I know, I know. Why did Tweeter just wake up and then go back to sleep? Oxygen? Freezing. Oxygen? Freezing. Freezing? Oxygen. Yeah, we don't have any light for you yet. We will, though. Gooey. Man, Gooey loves cleaning toilets. Look at this kid. Every time I look, Gooey's cleaning a toilet. He just loves it. Can't get enough. Hygiene and cleanliness. It really is. You're right. You're right. There we go. This is how water works. Airflow tiles are goofy, huh? Legacy, how you doing?
Fantastic, terrific, great. Oh yeah, strong juice, baby, suck it. I feel wonderful. Right on, right on, right on. Juice, 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 juice. I feel great. Ooh, whoa, whoa, let's kick some ass, kick some ass. Who's number one? We are. Who's number two? Who gives a
Delicious. Delicious meal, Lice. How lucky you duplicants are to have such an exhaustive supply of it. You're welcome. So Oni well and truly has rehooked you for the meantime. Yeah, people are into it, man. I kind of poll the troops in Discord from time to time to see like what folks want to watch. And Oni has been popular lately, so like more so than Darkest Dungeon 2. People were definitely not excited about Age of Wonders, which is unfortunate. You know, There's some new games coming out that I will definitely invest in. There's a game coming out next week, like early next week, called Inkbound that I have some hope for. I'm actually hoping that Tough and or Boopers will play that with me. I'm waiting for something like Conan Exiles. I'm really hoping that Nightingale can deliver. Oh yeah, I don't have to make these kinds of beds. I forgot. I have fancier beds. They go with my fancier flower pots. See the new Starship Troopers FPS hit early access? I did not. What's it called? And is it cool? I put Ani down. Oni. I call it Oni, but I guess other people call it Ani because oxygen. I put it down for about 3 years legacy, so I'm getting back into it, and it requires a certain amount of dedication, I feel like, in order to do it right. So here we are. For as much as we've dug out, we've only found 2 briar seeds and nothing else. We have polluted water now. Okay, cooking. Early bird. Decreased athletics is not my favorite, so we're not going to take you. I don't need a researcher. We'll take the Shine Nymph. Starship Troopers Extermination. 16 player. Left for Dead, basically with a touch of base building. Oh, that sounds cool. Have you looked at the gameplay? Is it cool? How much base building can you do? How long are the deployments? Sounds a little weird. Is it just like setting up some tower defense kind of things? Still kind of rough. Got it. Well, I'll check it out. Okay, let's figure out where the center of this is. 25, 24. Whoa, geez, bud. Okay. So the middle is right here, which is fine. Okay. I don't need to mark it. I remember it. This is such a big, wide middle platform. Lots of people have a big obsession with Starship Troopers. Have the Starship Trooper games been popular though? I have one that I never played. It's like a real-time strategy one, I think. Pretty sure I got a key for it. And nobody ever wanted to watch it, so we didn't do it. I also have a Dune one. Yeah, I have that RTS. It's been sitting there installed for ages. I never watched second or third. In fact, I'm not even sure I was aware they had more than one Starship Troopers movie. Yeah, you know what though? At some point, you run out of stuff to watch, and I'll try almost anything that's sci-fi. Does anybody know when Silo, like what night new episodes drop for that? Because I'm into that, man. That's cool. I want more. I've decided I think it's really cool. I keep thinking about it. Raboy yo yo yo. None of the cast from the first was in the second. Only the main character from one was in three. Is the main character Rico? Neverwhere? Never heard of it. Oh, I have no idea if I ever knew that actor's name. We're getting to the point where until Misha's research goes up a little bit, I don't know that we can get a ton more. Sandman I liked a lot, yeah. Oh, thanks, Scans.
Ferocious.
Hey, thanks for the follow. Need to double check the release date for second season of Good Omens. Yeah. It's weird. With COVID, I stopped, like, wondering about release dates because everything got so screwed up that I figured it'll just come out when it comes out. But I suspect that I've missed some stuff with that attitude, you know? I'm so laissez-faire and cool now.
Zoanisai 918 Fielsbardman.
Where's Cat Dad? Cat Dad, are we fighting? We might be fighting. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. Z. Z. Okay, we're gonna give next research or next skill point that Misha has. We'll put into researching advanced, and then we'll come back to masterwork, artsy fartsiness. Is it 2% unicorn milk? Hi, Uni. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, this is a hot take. I liked both The Lord of the Rings, the new one on Prime, and Wheel of Time. And I don't care who knows. I don't care. I thought they were fun. I don't care. I'm not super into the incredible lore of either, although I've read much of the Wheel of Time and all of Lord of the Rings, but I just don't care. I thought it was fun. Sandra, she made all by herself. It's true. I didn't like a couple of the actors in Wheel of Time, but I liked it. I thought it was, look, I just thought it was entertaining. Is it the most amazing thing I've ever seen? No. Does that matter to me? No. It's still fine. I liked it. But I know a million people didn't. And God forbid there's a black elf in a Tolkien book. It's the end of the world. That's sarcasm. That's sarcasm for any of you who don't know me. Primo Garbo? Is that what Gooey is wearing? Must be what Gooey is wearing. Primo Garbo. Garbo? Husband is interviewing because he doesn't like going into the office 3 days a week. Good. Seems like a reasonable solution to that problem. Another snazzy suit. We gave Astral a special outfit. Now, I don't know if the special outfit will get overwritten if we give him a snazzy suit or not. Maybe it's just a skin and he still gets the benefit of the snazzy suit. We'll find out. Fireland, for me, as long as I'm entertained either way by watching or laughing at just how bad it is. Yeah, that's fine. I also like the D&D movie. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I could see it. I haven't. I want to. Somebody was going to get back to me about whether they wanted to watch it with me or not. And so I've been waiting patiently, like a good friend. But my patience has limits. And so I might have to. Wait, was it me? No. No. I mean, yes. And the only thing that can make me happy is uni stream. The new D&D movie, Emmy. But look, every time I get like anxious about it, I just remind myself that Chris Pine is a bard and bards are the worst, and then I feel okay, you know? Bards are the worst except for druids. Druids are the actual worst, especially if they are like halfling or some sort of a small creature. Hey Magi. Wait, are you waving or lurking? It's hard to do both, man. I don't know how to deal with that. It's mixed messages. Halfling druids. It's how dare you? Gnome druids are great. The new haunted mansion. I didn't know there was an old haunted mansion. And it's probably not really on my radar. Wow, Juice. It's like you directly called out my Squirrel Boy character. Yes. Whoa! The hell was that? Did you see something fly down the screen? I cannot compliment drillers in Deep Rock. It's not a person, and they are garbage. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. NeverQuest, they're the only druids that get their DOT early on easily. Oh, well, in that case, if EverQuest did it, that game from 30 years ago. Carl, the driller in Deep Rock. No, not a real person. Can't compliment it. But if you want me to compliment a person, I can. An actual person that's in chat. Yeah, all that stuff, Beardar, is like, what do you do with it? Like, I have all these Pathfinder books. I'm not gonna need them. And I have some D&D like 2nd edition advanced, and it's like I have Heroes Unlimited and Villains Unlimited, and all mention, not really, I don't have all too many, but I have a handful of old RPG books from like when I was in like grade school and maybe early high school. Chev, you're up. How dare you get distracted? What are you working with your work and your science? Oh, compliment Chev. Chev is a wholesome and good friend, a man of science, and a man of compassion. And it's hard to do both, but Chev does it. And that means you can too. I'm having a hard time trusting the duplicate skill thing because it hasn't been going off. And I need to know when Misha gets points to do more research. You know what I mean? No, thanks to you, Chev. Don't ever change. I still have the water up here. Ugh, I shouldn't have even... Yeah, maybe we can mop most of it up. Tweeter, you're so hungry. Yo, Misha is killing this. Look at all the steps you're getting. Aw, look at our friends living amongst all the garbage on the floor. We'll fix it. Don't worry. We'll fix it in post. Come on, don't stop. Or can they not reach it? They can reach it. You weirdos, what are you eating? No, you're just, tidying. Okay, that's fine. It's weird that they left the digging to go tidy, specifically mealware, lice. Meal talk words are hard sometimes. You know what? Honestly, this one oxygen diffuser is doing some work, man. Doing a good job. Okay, let's get. Oh, we can't even do a regular airlock yet. Misha, when are you ready? Oh my God, you're so close to leveling up. Actually, let's not do this. Let's dig down. Dig down, stupid, until all that stuff gets to this level where we're gonna have the bins. Yeah, that's the plan, Chev. Shine nymph eggs. Ranching and researching. Nah. Just take the eggs. The eggs, Torf. It's getting a little toasty around the base, huh? On the edges. We're gonna insulate around here. Wow, Roboyo. How you doing, Roboyo? How's life? Hey, Misha. You can do some real research. Let's go. Found out yesterday that your car has something called limp mode. Okay. What is that? All right, I'm gonna put Tweeter on a little bit more for building and GUI on a little bit more for digging, just so that we can get a little bit more variety in what we're accomplishing. We're also going to bottle opener over here because I feel like we have a bunch of water sitting around. Actually, maybe most of it's been put into the research machines or something. Where'd all this water come from? There's something wrong with the throttle control electrical system. The car goes into a mode where the car accelerates extremely sluggishly and usually doesn't go over 20 miles an hour, as well as the anti-skid controls being shut down. So you had a problem and then your car was going real slow to prevent you from presumably doing any damage until you could get it to a shop. I mean, on one hand, that's pretty neat, right? On the other hand, it's probably pretty heckin' disturbing when you don't know that that's a thing it can do. Yeah, I believe that. I don't know. I've told this story once. We used to have a car that was like a hand-me-down, and it was not like a nice car, but it was a car, and all of our money was going into paying childcare. When both boys were in daycare, it was about $750 a week for childcare, and you know, we were both working full-time and paying bills, and you know, there just wasn't any money to buy a better car, so we had this hand-me-down car, and that's fine. I took the hand-me-down car for an oil change, as you do, and I took it to a place I had never taken it to before, but it was very close to my work, and so there was a level of convenience, and you know, I don't really think much about it because it's just an oil change, and anybody can do an oil change, right? Like, if that's what you do, you're an auto garage. As it turns out, sometimes when they take the oil out of your car, they forget to put oil back into your car, but there's still some oil in the system, so your car can run for a little while without actually having oil re-added to it. And so then you start driving, and then everything seizes when you're on the highway. Yeah. So that happened, and I got it towed to my regular mechanic, who also usually does my oil changes, but in this case did not. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, yeah, there was no oil in it. I'm just like, sons of a gun. So I call back and I talk to the woman who had helped me at this other place, and she was like, oh no, we have, you know, there's no way, blah, blah. I'm like, this other garage checked it out and said there was no oil in it. You know, like, and then we kind of had a couple conversations, and she's like, bring it in, we'll get it fit. I'm just like, no. I need you to pay for the tow and for the, you know, new oil change or whatever, like give me a refund. The car hadn't been driven so much that it was like permanently broken, right? Like if I had continued trying to get it to go beyond when it was broken, or, you know, when it first displayed issues, it could have permanently broken it, but apparently it was still fine once oil was re-added, so we dodged a bullet there. We ended up getting rid of that car shortly thereafter anyway, but yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare. And also the whole thing where it's like, why is my car doing this while I'm trying to go home on the freeway? Did she was actually like pretty at a certain point when it was clear that I wasn't like trying to litigate or squeeze them for, oh heck, this isn't gonna work when I've added aeroflow tiles here. She did open up and was like, it's really hard to find, like, we're struggling to find people that are particularly competent, which was like a weird admission for the manager of a store to make, but to her credit, I was like, you know, I was glad that she said that versus the no, we didn't do anything wrong, you know, because that's infuriating. They're supposed to have checks and balances. Like, there's supposed to be somebody that signs off. So that's what she said. Like, they have each technician has like a list. And so when the first technician is done, thinks that they're done with the change, then they're supposed to have another one come and just like go through a quick checklist to make sure nothing was missed or overlooked. But of course, if they don't do that, then you don't have your checks and balances in place and everything fails. All right, Tweeter and Gooey and Air Toes. You level up, get some skills. Misha, we're gonna learn insulated tiles. We have already learned mechanized airlock. Okay, so here's where one thing might be different if you're playing along on the seed from home. I have a mod that makes airlocks work the way that airlocks are supposed to work, which is they actually, when they are shut and powered, don't let gas pass from one side to the other even while the door is open temporarily. I still make water locks because it feels kind of cheaty to do it this way, but I honestly like it should be this way. If you call it an airlock, it should actually do the job of it being an airlock, and frankly it's just annoying. So for right now, until we make a proper water lock, which we'll show how to do when we get there, for right now I'm just gonna make this, and we're gonna go ahead and make a pit for polluted oxygen and dirt and all that stuff. And it's a ways up, but whatever. Or a ways down. We'll end up having a ladder here anyway. Actually, you know what? We won't. We'll end up having a ladder here. So might as well do that now. I'm glad we talked through that. Okay. You have the tech show me the dipstick and that it has oil. Apparently that's a semi-common mistake with new techs because I learned... I see. I see. Cooking, decorating and doctoring, quick learner, iron gut, building impaired. We don't need that. Bristleberry, let's take the bristleberry. Food, what do we have? 42,000 kcal. We'll just take the algae. 2 weeks ago, I'd taken in for oil change to the dealership. as well as to take care of a wiring issue where some mice had gnawed through a wire. Yikes. Yesterday, when my sister's friend popped the hood, he was like, well, your shop didn't even shake off the old rat poop on the engine cover, nor the oil cap, and it looks like they spilled all oil all over the engine. Ugh. Yeah. It warrants at least a call to be like, what the hell, man? You're supposed to, you know, particularly at the dealership. I would be expecting better service than that. I mean, usually dealerships are more expensive, and you're you know, supposedly paying for their familiarity with the type of car that you drive and their expertise and all that stuff. So to have bonehead shit like that happen is pretty discouraging. Who's Lancelot? Your doggo? Also, rat. Beirida. Why you do this? Okay, I'm gonna deodorize some of this polluted oxygen that's accumulated. Astral gets a skill point. Ah, okay. Let him into the shed full of rat muck. Ugh. That sucks, Baradar. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. We are doing a community seed for anybody that would like to join in and play along. There is the seed. There's also a channel in our Discord called Oni Community Seed, and I'll be doing like the first 50 cycles now, and then we'll pick it up after some time, maybe later in the week or next week. So people that are playing at home on delay can catch up and get their things done. Hui dongs. Wow, Goofling. So mature, Goofling. Believable. Yeah, community seed. How does that work? Well, it's basically just you're playing, if you copy and paste that code into your game of Oni, you will play on the exact same world that I'm playing on. And so, particularly for beginners, you can kind of see how I do it and handle the same stuff that you'll be handling. So it's a little apples to apples comparison. And then you can also compare it with what other people in the community are doing and see how they handle things. It's just a good way to learn, I think. So yeah, like I said, I'll just do like the first 50 cycles or so, and then we'll come back to it in the near future and do the next 50, and I'll post them, and I'll post videos on YouTube. And again, I'm not saying that the way that I do it is the right way. I don't know that there is a right way to do anything, but the way that I do it usually works for me. So if you want to learn, it's not a bad starting place anyway, and then you can kind of take what I do and adapt it to whatever suits you, you know? All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put a pitcher pump here. Where's my pitcher pumps? We don't have one. And then we will start just dumping some of this polluted water because it's just leaking polluted oxygen into the base, and that's annoying. It's not the end of the world or anything if you have polluted oxygen in your base. I just prefer not to if we can avoid it, and we can. So I'm gonna. I also don't like sage hatchlings, so we're gonna wait for that one to be bigger, and then we will convert him into a tasty, tasty meat. You went out to DQ earlier and asked for Blizzard with chocolate ice cream and Reese's peanut butter cups, and I think I confused the kid. What did you end up with? Vanilla Reese's cups?
Good sized meat.
Big
Big
ol'
ol'
meat? What was I playing earlier that I was talking about you, Uni? Cannibalism came up. Y'all, what games have we been playing lately? I forget now. Oh, Darkest Dungeon 2, I think. Maybe. Could be. Might be. Could be. Possibly. Let's speed this up a little bit. Huh. I wonder if when they're opening it, look, the air is shifting. I wonder if this airlock really is working with the mod. It might be a spaced out thing. Your cat, who does not even like human food, always pats me on the arm when I eat. Like, can I have some? And then I let him sniff and he's like, no. That's annoying and kind of cute. I feel lucky that both of our cats, neither of them ever go for human food, because they definitely could. We definitely, with 2 kids, like, food is left out all the time. Granted, I suppose if the cats actually tried to eat it, we'd probably do a better job of cleaning up immediately. But you know, the dog will eat human food, but doesn't seem to go out of her way to like get into trouble. She did go up on the table once to grab a stick of butter, but I haven't really noticed anything like that recently. She'll just eat scraps that fall on the floor and stuff like that. You've eaten scraps off the floor, Gemma? Oh, just of an entire stick of butter. My cactus, my little, went through a phase where he just wanted to eat butter all the time, and it didn't really even matter if it was on anything. And we had to sort of put a, like, bud, like, at least let us put it on bread. You know, it's kind of gross when you're just like grabbing butter with your dirty little hand. All right, we're doing okay. We have oxygen, we have food. Our base is starting to take shape. Our research is nice. We need some more decor, and we need to clean this out because right now they're not really getting a lot of decor benefit from the plants because of all the junk that's on the floor, detracting from it. So we're gonna set this to a 6 to start that process. We are dumping towards a pit here. And we will eventually move our waste storage bin down into here. The outskirts of the base are a little bit warm, so I am going to be insulating. I usually insulate anyway, and I don't know, it's not necessarily super necessary, but it makes me feel good, so I do it. And basically what that looks like is I literally just use igneous rock as we mine it out, and I'll just kind of like throw it around the edges. Kind of usually don't have a ton of it to begin with, so you probably want to be a little bit judicious about where you put it and when you put it there. If you would choose to do that, I again don't know that it's actually necessary. Arbor acorn. That's interesting. Let's take that. If we get a pip, we could plant that sucker. This case, my dad didn't approve of you eating junk, and the only food around was butter. Yeah, I am a little bit more strict about junk food than my wife is. The kids want like sugar cereals, and I've always been like no. And then she likes sugar cereals, and she's an adult, so she can do whatever she wants. But I'll tell you what, when my kids were real young, I was definitely against it, because when they're little, they definitely don't need sugar. And they are generally happy to eat whatever the hell you give them. There's a point where kids are not that picky, and then they become picky, and then hopefully they become eventually less picky again, right? But she used to buy Fruity Pebbles, and I'm still against Fruity Pebbles. I just think it's unnecessary. And but she kept it in the house, and I was like, this is fine. You know, you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. You want to eat Fruity Pebbles, like go for it. It's not, it's not my place to tell you what to eat or not eat. It is my place to decide, that I don't want my kids to have Fruity Pebbles, and there's no real reason that they should. So we don't need to argue about it. Can we just agree that we're not going to feed them Fruity Pebbles or Lucky Charms or anything that is just purely basically a dessert that you eat in the morning? And so this will seem to be fine until the day that she left the Fruity Pebbles out on the counter. So before, they had been hidden up high on top of the, in a cupboard somewhere where the kids couldn't see it or reach it. And it was sort of like you eat it after the kids are asleep or before they get up or whatever, and it's fine. But she left it out on the counter, and I was bringing my kid out to get him ready for daycare, and I notice it, but I don't want to draw attention to it. So I'm just like, he's all like groggy and stuff. Like, I'll just walk him by it, and then when he's by it, I will grab the box. I'll put it back in the cupboard. So he walks by it, no big deal. I think I'm in the clear, and then all of a sudden he's like, whoosh, head goes and he points at it, and he's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, what's what? And he's like, that box with the cartoons on it that's all bright and rainbow colored. And I'm just like, that's for adults? And he looks at me and I look at him. He looks at me and I'm like, it's not for you. And I took it and I threw it away. I was so pissed. I'm not like unnecessarily upset about that, but like it was, you know, like leaving it out is like, I was just like, dude, it's one thing. I'm not very strict. Can we just not feed them garbage cereal, please? Please. I threw it away. But now I've relented a little bit because to her point, they're eating like stuff at school that's pretty much garbage. Okay, so some of this food has gotten rotten, so now we have rotten meal ice. So we're gonna take our box and make sure that under organic we have rot pile as well as polluted dirt. And if you have slime, then slime as well. And we'll be moving the contents of that to our slime biome shortly, but for right now it can be stored here. Fox Mulder, 21 plus zeros. Yeah, I still don't eat that stuff. And there are lines I will not cross. When they're adults, they can eat Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms is not only disgusting, but I mean, come on, there's a limit. Before I was buying, like, I would buy like Kix, which I think is good. Honey Nut Cheerios, I think is good. Life cereal, you know, I mean, it's essentially like a sugar cereal, but there's at least fiber in it and something, you know, like it's not like I'm saying you have to eat shredded wheat and cornflakes, you know, like I'm not a monster. We don't need Boo Berry, okay? I don't need little marshmallow, fake marshmallow bits. It's too much. It's not, there's no good from it. Yeah, only grape nuts. Yeah, like I don't think I'm unreasonable here, you know? But I did relent and I got them. She was saying like, well, what if you got to stop thinking about it like cereal and start thinking about it like a dessert. And I'm like, you know, they eat popsicles all the time and those are basically just sugar. I'm like, okay, that's fair, you know? So what I did was I got those little boxes of Kellogg's where it comes in like the 8-pack and it's like a sampler. So it had like, I think 4 different kinds. I think it was like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops, and 2 more. I don't know. But none of them were the ones that are really extremely like that next level of sugar cereal. And then I was like, this can be, you can have a box in lieu of a popsicles or whatever dessert on Nice We Have Dessert. And that went over fine. So, you know, I'm willing to compromise. And then it's not like a huge big box that we can't really control, you know, it's like pre-portioned. Honey Nut O's are good too, yeah. What was frozen? Oh, yeah, dude. Cinnamon Chex, a lot of those ones. Even like Raisin Bran has a bunch of carbohydrates, but it has fiber and, you know, bran in it. So it has some amount of nutritional value. And then some of the things that are marketed, like I think Kix are actually not terrible. You know, like relatively. Cereal in general is just gonna be high carb. I've tried like the Magic Spoon ones and some of the ones where it's like keto friendly, and I haven't found a good one. Kashi, the Kashi ones are pretty good. I like those. And they're like it's kind of like frosted mini wheats, but with like cinnamon instead of like frosting on them. And those are pretty good and have like relatively low carb. Again, relatively. So there's some options that I'll do, and I'll mix it up. Usually for me, it's like Crispix with berries in it, and then the berries are the source of the sweetness, you know? That's kind of my go-to, and I don't feel so bad about that. I'm still confused. Hold on, Beardar, what was frozen? My cousin stole a box of frozen fish fingers and ate them. I mean, they're pre-cooked, so it's weird, but what's my food weakness? Asks Gemma. Gosh, I mean, I do enjoy cereal a lot. And cereal's generally not that great for you. I don't know if I know the Crave cereal, Zodi. This is making you want cereal. Favorite Frosted Flakes? Frosted Flakes are good, but man, is that a lot of sugar. But yeah, they do taste good. I like, if I'm gonna eat something like that, I like the Frosted Mini Spooners is what we get, which is like the big bag one, you know, the multi-meal version of Frosted Mini Wheats. But I'll sparingly, like that's like a dessert. I mean, at this point I treat like soda like a dessert, you know, like anything with that much sugar, I try to be pretty good about it, and I'll try my best to like use actual fruits instead of sugar when I can. I don't know, there's a balance, right? Like, I try to be somewhat responsible about snacking and stuff like that. There was definitely a point in my 30s when I went from just eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, to like, oh no, this is... I have made some mistakes, and now I need to start being a little bit wiser about my choices. None of these duplicates are particularly interesting to me, so we'll grab the Pipsqueak. Oh, Captain Crunch. Yeah, dude. I don't know about the peanut butter. It's weird because Captain Crunch is originally meant to be a peanut butter cereal. And if you think about it when you eat it, you kind of get it, right? Like, it's kind of peanut buttery. Pips, we grabbed you as a community. I hope that's okay. You chose food. Better than some of those other things for sure. Yeah, Frosted Flakes taste good. They get real soggy real fast. And I don't know if that's part of why you like it, because I can see that. The texture, I like it. I guess I like it a little bit crispier in general, or crunchier. We have that with our oldest, Zodi. He has ADHD, and his meds for a while were basically he just lost his appetite, and he actually went from like 99th percentile in height and dropped down significantly because he was losing weight and his growth was being stunted. At which point that sent alarm bells for me. We changed his medication and it's better now. But yeah, it's like whatever you want to eat. You want more popsicles? Eat more popsicles. And then of course you can't really tell the other one that they can't do that. So luckily, both of them have my wife's metabolism. Although I was pretty skinny when I was a kid. But it's, I mean, it's a problem that, if it's a problem, it's something that we'll have to deal with later, you know. But yeah, they it was like a concern that he just wasn't eating enough, and to the point where like literally you were going to be super tall, now you maybe just going to be kind of tall, or hopefully it corrects itself, you know. It wasn't like he was doing that for years or anything, but it was long enough for them to notice. So hi Bob Nods. Yeah, Gemma, I get that. Soda is like there's something about it, you know. It's easy and it tastes good, and if you need the caffeine, it's, you know, like it's most people like soda, but yeah, I stopped. I have to, it's rare now, very rare for me to have it now. I find other ways. I switched to 5 Hour Energy to get the vitamin B boost and some caffeine in there too. But in order to help me cut back on, that helped me to cut back on soda, because half of the reason I wanted the soda was for the caffeine. And honestly, like the caffeine's not even that good. Like 5 hours, I find it to be better because it's like a way more mellow boost and it lasts longer, and then I don't crash. So I'll drink like half of one, and then a couple hours later I'll drink the second half. So it's kind of spreading it out too, even then. And then as far as like drinking stuff just because you're bored and you want something, I found like some sugar-free lemonade that I like called Matt's, or Uncle Matt's. It's like organic, so it's a little bit expensive, but it's actually pretty good. You love carbonation? Hey, have you all tried Spindrift? Spindrift, cram it in your face hole.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but for me, the beast doesn't include selling out.
Garth, you know what I'm talking about, right?
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Sell out with me, oh yeah, sell out with me tonight.
Party on, Wayne. Hey, Boopers. How about that D&D movie, huh? Did you have time to think about it? Oh, hey, meat. Did we get a cook yet? We didn't get a cook yet, right? No. Alright, we need a cook so I can start actually grilling. Yeah, why don't you look into that? Hey, it's fun. It's a good movie. Everybody likes it. We can't actually do the art on these blocks yet, but we're gonna set them up. And get them built. And then when Misha gets to Masterwork Artist, then we will turn on art. So right now we have art turned off, or decorating turned off. So they will just stay there as large blocks. Okay. We have 49,000 kcal, so I don't really see us needing to expand this farm right now. It just adds more work. and time and resources, and then a lot of the food will go bad. So as long as we're keeping pace with what our duplicants need, we don't need to go wild with it. So you can kind of pace yourself on that. I'll still keep it open. Yeah, I'm not going to repurpose the space down here for anything else, but I don't see us needing to do any more farm tiles for a little bit. I've been trying to get her to change her, to rebrand, but she won't listen, Yema. Okay, good. Boop, this is the community seed. If you want to play along. It's posted in Discord in the Oni community seed channel. Villain's been working on it. I don't know if other people are playing along. People said they wanted to. We both know I'm playing Conan. I see. I have it worked out with her best friend's mom for small eating over there. Last week she ate over there. She eats like a bird. It's too bad, Zodi. Nerdy's playing along. Good. Hey, P-Mom. Zodi, I'm sorry you're having problems with that. I wish I had good advice. For us, it was the medication. He's always skinny. He was a skinny baby. And he had health problems when he was born, like pretty significant ones. So like, I don't know if that had much to do with it. The second kid was a fat, chubby baby. And he's like, I think average weight, you know, for his age or whatever. But my oldest was already quite thin, and then to have the ADHD medication kill his appetite was like, ugh. If my kid doesn't have the ADHD meds, we can tell. There are some days where it's been forgotten or intentionally not given, like on a weekend, and it's like, oh, this kid is a little out of control right now and won't shut up, and it's just like blah, 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 and just like you can't have a conversation. It's too much. Suit wearing, operating, digging. I mean, these are all good. Green thumb doesn't matter. Can't do any of these things. I mean, these aren't, the traits are garbage, but this isn't a bad combo. But it's fine. We're still kind of waiting. We can be picky. We can be a little bit picky and choosy right now. We're getting stuff done at a pretty decent pace. All right, Misha. Now we can turn your art on. Yeah, if your kid can manage it, that's great. Well, you just need to sleep it off. I like it. I like a tidy base, y'all. It makes me happy when there's not a bunch of garbage everywhere. Oh. All right, we're gonna copy our garbage bin settings. We still haven't popped slime, which is nice. And we will go ahead and turn this off. And then we will go ahead and grab all the junk that's accumulated at the bottom there and get it sorted. I think our next step is to think about our rooms. We could certainly make a great hall and a kitchen. The kitchen's not really necessary yet since we don't have a cook. What great hall is definitely attainable and easy. I don't have a strong preference of where to put it, so I mean, I guess if I were to choose, I'd probably put it here, but all of our junk is there. So we either start and then move the junk. Let's see, how would I do this? Or we put it down here. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm just thinking as far as like their progression, like at night, they use the restroom, they eat, not always in that order, I don't think. And then they go to sleep. So having it all sort of just be a linear thing just makes sense to me, versus having them going up and down. And then if we put the kitchen on one side, they would just have to grab food out of the ration box. But I don't think this is enough space, because if we're gonna do like 15 duplicates, this is not big enough, right? This side would be though. So let's do this. We'll relocate this junk into a laboratory. A laboratory. And then we'll put the Great Hall here, so we can start with something small and then expand. So for right now, it's not really a Great Hall. It's just a hall. It's just hall, okay? Because we only have 5 dupes anyway. So we throw down a water cooler and some mess tables, and then we're good to go. And then what we'll do is we'll migrate our research computers and all that stuff. Oh, we don't have a pitcher pump. Here, let's, doesn't really matter. It's just temporary. We'll put that there. Schmookle, this is our community seed. There's a place in the Discord if you're interested in playing with us. I will post this on YouTube, and then if you want to play along on your own time, you can kind of see what I've done, what other people in the community have done, and we're all playing on the same map, you know, so it's like apples to apples comparison, and sort of understanding the timing of things and when you should think about different milestones. He was a rage monster. I see. Yeah, I feel like it's always kind of a moving target, right? You get the meds stable and then they continue to change. Prozac and Wellbutrin are also delicious for the narcolepsy, ADHD, and anxiety. Getting the right meds is an absolute crapshoot. Yeah, it takes a while. It made Jaywalker go delusional. I mean, that's fun too. Wellbutrin is your new flavor. You're excited to try it. Oh, me too. Effexor made me hallucinate and have weird seizures. Oh! Effexor made you more crazy than I was. Maybe they should stop selling Effexor. It seems to have some weird effects. Or... So this counts as a great haul, even though it's not that great. But it'll do the trick for now. Air toes. Getting some skills. All right, we got our art done. So now our little rooms are looking pretty good, but we're not done with these ones yet. Oh, we haven't researched drywall yet. So we'll have to put that on the list, then we can get them all looking spiffy. And I don't have enough plants, Bob. I don't have enough plant seeds. So all of my fancy yellow, sunny retro flower pots, so many of them are empty. All right, research. We will need a refrigerator at some point, but today is not that day, I don't think. Temp shift plates and fire poles are good. Okay. Now, I am just marking this out. But I am going to put the bottom of my base here above this little pocket, and we're going to insulate the hell out of it using igneous rock insulated tile. Because this is going to continue to radiate heat. And we don't want that necessarily inside the base. So yeah, that's that plan. And it also works out so that you can still maintain your 4 levels high, have an insulation row, and then a buffer row if you want. So we'll get down to there. I have collected enough igneous rock, and we'll get some more too when we're starting to dig down here. But we'll kind of start making our way downtown. And we'll dig a little bit at a time so that we don't trap any of our duplicants or strand them. You're toasty, boopers. The fancy JuiceticeTV brand. You too can have a hat just like this. Drecklet. How come they're never gonna give me a cook? Noodle arms, no. Noodle arms, no. This one. Building and tidying. Quick learner, interior decorator, germ resistant. Alright, this one's a winner. Turner, you're in. If you would like to be Turner, you may play a Get Me in the Car Baradar Get Me in the Game card. And if not, we will raffle it off in like 5 minutes. Noodle arms. I'm sorry, but you know that Boop is my 3rd favorite noodle.
Schmookle wants to name a character in the game.
Fast on the draw. All right. ready to be useless. Wah, 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 wah. We have a slime biome over here. Hey. Gooey bear. Astral Fire's almost done baking. It's only got one more thing. Oh yeah, let me just double check my schedule. Okay, yeah. No additional night owls or early birds. No, so what I started doing, Shanks, is because your duplicants continue to gain skill points beyond like just forever, right? But there's a point where I don't want to give them anymore because their morale will be negatively affected, right? So in order for me to not have to look at each one all the time when they have a bunch of skill points hanging out, I basically don't give them the hat until they're done baking. And then I can quickly glance and say like, oh, Schmookle doesn't have a hat yet. Let's see what he's got. He's got a point or two. Here we go. You know, it just makes it easier for me. All right, next up in research land, do our textile production. We're well ahead of where we need to be for research, so I'm not super concerned about like specific orders at this point. We're doing fine. We can keep making our way downtown, walking fast, faces past, we're homebound. Ba-da-da-da-da. Actually, let's clean up here first, since it's closer to the storage bins. And then we'll dig, and then tidy, and then dig, and then tidy. At one point, I used to put the storage bins really kind of at the bottom of the base, so that everything could kind of fall down to the bottom, and it was really fast to clean up. But then it was harder, it took longer for them to go get the stuff, you know?
Picky Pear just subscribed.
Yo!
All your beds are so cute.
Thank you, Picky Pear. Yours have a little mobile that is probably also cute. I need to see it. I got rocket ship beds for my fancy ones, and those are pretty neat. Picky Pear, thanks for resubscribing. 35 months. That's almost a year, bud. Thanks for the hype, Schmookle. Schmookle, it's been great having you around, by the way. You're never allowed to leave me, Schmookle. Hi, Picky Pear. The pickiest pair of them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going down till about here. You'll be missed, Schmuckle. Boopers has scheduled an HR meeting with you. Hey, Gemma, did you get that HR meeting on the books with Schmuckle? Just asking. We did our performance review and he needs to go on a PED. Will you get severance pay? No, but you have to severance sub. It actually kind of works in reverse. These are HR's rules. It's not my rule, you know. Gemma is the official HR person of the JuicetiteTV television program. Hey, we got a briar seed. So fancy. Basic bee dumb plant. Where's all the cool stuff, man? This is what we need. A mirth leaf. We have some sort of a thing here. We need more cowbell. I got a fever. The only prescription is more cowbell. Alrighty. We can resume digging over here. Let's double check our settings. No eggs on. No pollution. Rot pile, polluted dirt, and no slime. Perfect. All right, we have 8 more cycles, fam, and then we're gonna stop at 50. And we'll probably end the stream at that point too. Just a heads up. Tomorrow we'll be back. Haven't really thought about what we might stream. Could be this. Not this seed. We'll probably go back to the main seed. But it'll start at 1 p.m. Friday, we have a full-length Boop show featuring Juice's television program. Saturday, we are going to have a stream. I don't think we're going to unlock community night. We haven't unlocked a goal, let alone 3 goals. The next community night will be an honor wall night. So that's exciting. Whenever that is. And yeah, there'll be a stream on Saturday. It just probably at this point it doesn't look like it's going to be a community night stream. A full Boop show. Yeah. Like she's not going to leave early to go hang out with her friends. I mean, allegedly, she'll probably find a way to ruin it, but the plan as it stands at this point. I don't know. Am I sassy or truthful? Sassafras. Give me a cook, dude. Maybe next time I should get a cook. Because, heck, it's giving me anything but digging, doctoring, decorating. The 3Ds, nah. Doctoring, tidying, nah. We'll take the algae. Research. Is there anything that we really, I feel like we really need sooner rather than later? We'll take the agriculture and maybe the, and then the critter stuff. Both what, Zodi? Oxygen's good. Man, this one diffuser's doing work. I thought we were going to have problems. I mean, to be fair, like, you know, as wide as the space is, it's not super tall yet. And so I guess it's just, we've maintained our pressure. Sassy and truthful. Yes, that's possible. Okay, so what I would like to do is get a proper bathroom blocked in, and then we need a medical clinic. It seems like medical clinics can be larger than I feel like they used to be. So the hospital is 96 max, which is like this. So basically exactly half. So I guess we'll go full medical clinic. And then we can have like, we'll do like a laboratory. Well, how big is that? 120. Oh my goodness gracious, buds. Well, I guess they have some more machinery and stuff than they used to now, so that makes sense. Rec room is 96. Is washroom the only thing that's 64 max now, aside from bedrooms? I feel like it used to be mess hall 64. But the difference between a mess hall and a great hall is really negligible. Kitchen's 96. Power plant's 96. Greenhouse 96. Stable 96. Wow. Well, maybe we need to rethink about the 64 plan in the future. Whoa, picky. That's a funny number. You scamp. Uh-oh. Once again, Misha has tried to murder herself. I'm gonna dig some of this out because I want the igneous rock for insulation. All the sand is gonna drop, but that's okay. Research is done already. Misha, you're a terror. Very excited about books. You're not even looking at books. Really should give you a light, honestly. I'm being negligent. Excuse me, shine bug. I can't see the footprint of the light. Oh. Well, we already built it, so there you go. Icky pear. It shows you where the light will go when you place it, and I wanted it to cover the computer and the researching desk or whatever it is. That's all. But because the shine bugs also emit light, it's hard to tell exactly. You know what I mean, Vern? Technically, these duplicants are running around in the darkness. The only light that they see is if you produce a light or they have a shine bug. And there are mods to that effect. But the game is kind and doesn't make you run around in the dark. But they get bonuses if they do tasks in light and stuff like that. And like light will keep them awake if you have it in their bedrooms. So unless they have that particular trait where they want to have a nightlight, you don't want to have light in the bedrooms, which is why we keep the outside door shut so shine bugs can't get into the barracks area. The one thing that we don't really have and didn't really have when I was looking was like a natural spot for a park, which is a bit of a bummer. We could do, you know, what we could do is we could make one with the pip, I think. So let's do that. You want it to be someplace they're gonna walk through, so it'd have to be either up here or down here. Kind of already butchered up here. A banana book? Pips, they're talking about their nerdy TTRPG thing, and some guy sees visions, but it's really banana focused lately. And don't worry about it. You're not missing out. Oh wow, science in this is like the old school. There's far less things, eh? And there's no radiation. Huh. Well, that's a lot easier. Oh, I'd use a pip. Yeah. And I meant you, not an actual pip. So I'm gonna need you to be available to hop in here and start cleaning or planting. Cycle 46. I think what I want to do is try to make a park on the same level as we make our exits, so that maybe they would have to run through the park to get the error. All right, show me cooking. Son of a biscuit. Don't need you. Don't need you. Larva eggs. No, that's scary. What am I going to do with that? Slicksters. They exude crude oil. Huh, that might be cool. They just eat carbon dioxide. I mean, hell. And then operating, ranching, doctoring. Now let's take whatever the hell larva egg are, and we'll deal with that. I think I've seen slicksters before, back in the olden days. It's been a hot minute though. Sounds great till one of them catches fire. Dude, that's not a thing. All right, this is our last Stream Raiders battle. Oh, look at this. There's some goods up there. We have some plastic available to us here. I wonder if slickster farming is a thing. I suppose. If all they eat is carbon dioxide, that's pretty low maintenance. Just chuck them in the bottom of your base and collect the oil. Glitched lizard. How you doing, pal? How you doing there, pal? My day is going well. We're gonna be wrapping up stream here in a little bit, but today's been good. Martel de vie. Oh la 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 la. Bonjour mon ami, ça va? Not yet, Martel. Would you relax? So sensitive. All right. Uh-huh. It was a very lazy day. Took a nap, walked the dog. Oh, you did today off? Martel, how you doing? It's good to see you. Where's your friend Rachel? I think she and I are fighting right now. I can't keep up. Yeah, she's the worst. I think we all agree on that. Can't call her Adora Rachel. Add Rachel? Oh, I still do though, but it's probably why we're fighting. All right, we're getting some decent igneous rock. It takes a lot to insulate, you know? You baked some bagel burger buns today. You baked some bagels the other day. Huh. I worked at a bagel shop in college. That's my bagel story. I never did any of the bagel boiling. You gotta boil the bagels before you bake them. Oh, we have a mirth leaf seed. Now we're gonna put this. We want to put the best leaves up front so that people have to walk by the plants to get the morale boost. Sometimes you have to uproot some to plant some new ones, eh? You don't need to boil them? Well, that's how it's done traditionally, though. But that's fine. I'm not an aficionado. I'll take your word for that, Martel. I can say with some level of certainty that I will probably never bake, boil, fry, or in any way create any bagels. It's just not really, probably not in my future. At least not right now. Yeah, I don't know, Nerdy. It probably has an interesting history. Well, number one, we don't know that Martel Devi is a people. And number two, I don't think most do, Glitch Lizard. And by most, I mean really anyone, yeah. Maybe. I don't know if it was an accident. It might have been like a, how do we make this? I have to preserve this in a way, or I have to do this in a way, and, you know, one thing leads to another. Martel Devi, we can't. The only thing is that you seem to do a lot of, like, you seem to be like a true Renaissance man, you know? And most of that stuff is not digital. You know, the cooking and the painting and the creating and the doing. So I feel like it'd be hard for an AI to actually make real bagels. Show me cook, son of a biscuit. Diggy hole with decreased athletics. Yeah. Wow, we are striking out big time. Mother's Day was fine. Yeah, it was good. I told my family that for Father's Day, I would like to do a family escape room. We've done one in the past and it was nice. You have a mushroom spore. That's nice. Yeah, I'm kind of noodling about where to put my mushroom farm. I think what I'm going to do is, to me, this seems like the egress because it can lead you through the slime versus like trying to get through like chlorine and hydrogen and all that. So I think I'm going to have one exit out of the right side of the base to be down here. And so then I could see having the mushroom farm like be in this bottom left corner. But also we need to get our water pit sorted out and all that. That's just not an urgent situation. So it'll kind of take shape as we go. And as soon as I delete the deodorizer, the duplicants drop a bunch of polluted water. And now we have polluted oxygen all up in the base again. I cooked chocolate pancakes for dinner on Mother's Day. Wow. I don't know if I've ever had a chocolate pancake. Bay radar. This would probably be a good spot for a park. The issue is it's not quite wide enough. What kind of seeds do we even have? Briar seeds. We have none. Arbor acorn has to go in what? Show me acorn. You know what? Dirt. What are these things called? Bristle blossoms. So they can grow out of algae, clearly. Well, hell, it looks like it grows out of copper. So maybe it doesn't really matter what it's planted in. Oh, heck. We've gone long. It's cycle 51. All right. This is where we're going to stop for tonight.